What's going on YouTube? It's Flock Nation Fumbles, where we talk about all things Baltimore Ravens and NFL. Um, as you can see, we're in a new location for filming the videos now. I was filming in my basement, now I'm filming in one of my bedrooms. I do plan on adding some more decor to the wall behind me. More Ravens gear, obviously, to spice up the look and feel of the videos. I know it's been a little bit since I filmed a video. I think it's been since like the NFL divisional round where I did game predictions. For this video, we're going to briefly talk about the Super Bowl last night, and we're going to be talking about the Ravens' outlook for their offseason, what I think is going to happen, and what needs to happen for them to get back on track for next season. So with further ado, let's hop into talking about the Super Bowl. Last night, Seattle Seahawks defeated the New England Patriots 29-13. Seahawks defense dominated. Congrats to Sam Darnold for being the first in his draft class among Lamar, Baker, Josh Rosen, who we don't really talk about anymore. He's kind of just like out of the league now. And obviously, I said Lamar, Baker, and Josh Allen, right? Yeah. So he's the first one in his draft class to get a Super Bowl ring. Congrats to Mike McDonald, who used to be the Ravens defensive coordinator a couple years ago. Yeah, like they just dominated New England's offensive line. Drake May made some costly mistakes. He just looked off, and he just looked like the New England Patriots didn't belong in that game last night. I feel like New England, they are a good football team, but they did have an easy schedule this year. And the playoffs, even though they played good defenses like the Broncos and the Texans defense, Broncos game was in heavy snow, and C.J. Stroud basically handed New England that football game with his bad turnovers. So with that said, congrats on the Seahawks for their Super Bowl win and a good season. And now we're on to the next one. New season starts today, technically. Well, not technically. It starts around March and whatever, with the first wave of free agency, and with like franchise tags and all that jazz. But yeah, let's talk about what the Ravens need to do to get back on track for the offseason. First thing they need to do is, before the draft even starts, they need to reconstructure Lamar's contract. He is currently, if they don't, he will be owed $74 or $75 million next year for his cap hit. And that's going to stranglehold our, if we can't get anything done, if we can't get them to restructure, it's going to hinder what we can do in the offseason in terms of free agency spending. Also, I haven't uploaded on here since we got a new coach. We have Jesse Minter as our head coach now. We have a new offensive coordinator and a new defensive coordinator. We got a lot of new coaches coming in this year. So we need to definitely get big hits in free agency. We need to have better communication, and it's gonna be interesting to see how these new coaches come in, and how they deal with Lamar and the rest of the vets on this team. So good luck to Jesse Minter. Good luck to our new offensive coordinator, Delken Doyle, who was Caleb Williams' offensive coordinator at the Bears this year. And good luck to Anthony Weaver, who used to be a coach on our team before becoming the defensive coordinator for the Dolphins. So, Obviously, I talked about we need to sign Lamar to a contract extension. Um, Currently, I think we're projected to have 20 to 30 million in cap space, so we're in the middle of the pack. Um, and definitely signing Lamar to a contract extension will give us more cap space. Um, Also, another thing we need to do is improve the offensive line this offseason in the draft or free agency. Um, uh, we had really piss poor play by Daniel Falele as a guard this year. Um, he was an obvious one that couldn't basically block worth a shit all year. Andrew Voorhees was another one that people were talking about. That had his ups and downs. Um, we still have Ronnie Stanley, but he's on the back end of his career. Roger Rosengarten's pretty decent, and Linderbaum, he's a free agent this year, so we need to re-sign him. We also have Emory Jones Jr., who was a rookie this year. He looks promising to jump forward to second year, so we'll see on that. We definitely need to improve our offensive line. And the last major thing, there's two more things that we also need to address in the offseason. One of them is going to be more addressed towards like OTAs and practice, which I'll get to last. But the third thing is we need to better our pass rush. We were 30th in the league this year with 30 team sacks, and that's a drastic drop off from the previous season when we had the second most sacks at 54. And there's only like two other teams besides us that are worse in the sack category. I just remember games where like quarterbacks like Aaron Rodgers during the last game of the season, Drake May, Malik Willis, they just had so much time to throw the ball. They were not pressured. They could lick an ice cream cone, stand back there, and chuck the ball whenever they felt like it. That's what I felt like for most of the season. Our defense was very disappointing. Besides like that 5-6 game winning streak when we were trying to come back from a 1-5 start to the season, I believe that I think it was Mike Green, a rookie, or somebody else that led the team in sacks, and it was only like 4 or 5 total. So definitely we need to bolster that pass rush, and we can either do it by getting Trey Hendrickson in free agency, or trading for Max Crosby, or drafting a couple other edge rushers in the draft. We'll see. And the last thing I'd like to talk about that's a major thing that we need to work on is turnovers. We need to limit the turnovers. Fumbles, you name it. Like, we just need to have situational awareness, and situational game calling is also another one, which we'll see how our new coaches do with that in mind. Now I'm going to be segueing into our free agents and who I think we should keep and who we should get rid of. Now there's already there's restricted and exclusive rights free agents that we're just gonna keep automatically unless another team matches the deal, I believe. So Keaton Mitchell, he's a restricted free agent. He's obviously going to be back next year. He's very pivotal in our running game. He is he's basically the tag team partner to Derrick Henry. If Derrick Henry is the muscle, Derrick Henry's the muscle and the speed, but Keaton Mitchell is also the speed, and he's our backup running back. We also have Carl Jones Jr., Corey Bullock, Dayton Wade, and C.J. Okoye as exclusive rights agents. They don't really get much playing time, so they mostly will probably be special teams and practice squad people. Our unrestricted free agents, the ones that we have the most we need to focus on. Let's see, we have a total of 24. So we have 5 restricted. So we have 19 players that are unrestricted right now. I guess I'll go through each one of them briefly and say if I think they're going to be on another team next year, or we'll sign them. Draymond Jones, we got him from the Titans in the middle of the season. He did okay in his first couple games, but I think he got lost in the mist for the rest of the season. I don't see us bringing him back just because we're probably going to be focusing more on a couple of other key players. So I believe he'll be gone. Alohi Gilman, we got him in a trade from the Chargers before the trade deadline. We traded Odafe away to get Gilman. He's been pleasantly surprising and decent for the team. I believe we re-sign Gilman, and he'll be back on the team next year. DeAndre Hopkins, D-Hop. This one's a mix-up. In the beginning of the season, D-Hop had some nice one-handed touchdown passes. Like I said, this is a coin toss. I like D-Hop, but I could see us not re-signing him or getting him on a very cheap veteran deal. So I'm not particularly sure on him. Kyle Van Noy, he did great the previous season, but this year he's been up and down. He was injured a couple games. I feel like we could keep Kyle Van Noy, but we might not re-sign him. Just because we might try to get, like I said, Trey Hendrickson or Max Crosby to be on the edge of the defensive line. I'm going to say Kyle Van Noy is probably not going to be with the team next year. Center Tyler Linderbaum. This is an obvious yes, we need Tyler. He is a cornerstone piece for our offensive line. I believe he's going in his 5th year now. And we just need that familiar rapport with the center and Lamar. So we're going to try to re-sign Tyler Linderbaum. Next, safety Ardarius Washington. He didn't break his foot. He was injured. He tore his Achilles. He was injured most of the season. But before that, he was a dog last season. I remember him tackling Russell Wilson when we played the Steelers. It was either the game, one of the last games of the season, or during playoffs, where he knocked the ball out of Wilson's hand as Russell Wilson was running towards the end zone. We're going to resign Ardarius Washington. He'll be cheap, and he's a dog, and he can tackle. So we're going to keep him. After that, we have fullback Patrick Ricard. We're obviously going to keep Ricard as well. He's a very good blocker. He helps get Derrick Henry through the gaps for very big runs. So we're going to keep Ricard. After that, we got Tylan Wallace. He's a pretty decent player. He's the one that won us the game against the Rams in the OT for the punt return. He's also very reliable, and he's also a very good special teams player. So we'll keep him. Joseph Noteboom. I believe he's a veteran tackle. We might keep him for depth. So he'll probably be cheap, and we'll keep him. David Ojabo, he's unfortunately been a bust, in my opinion. He was supposed to like come in and be a very changing, game-wrecking linebacker. He just hasn't done that. He's been injured, and the times that he's been in, he hasn't been too much of an impactful player, so he'll be gone. After that, we have the corner, Chidobe Awuzie, that we got from the Titans. He was surprisingly a lockdown corner this year. The only bad thing I saw from him is when he slipped during the Steelers game, week 18, that allowed them to score a touchdown. The drive before Lamar came back with the 4th down, clutch play, and all that jazz. I think we'll keep Awuzie on a cheap deal. After that, we have 2 defensive linemen. We have Taven Bryan and Brent Urban. Bryan, I don't know much about. We might keep him on a cheap depth deal. Brent Urban, he's been back and forth with Baltimore like for the past couple years. He's just one of those players that gets cut and released and then re-signed, usually to us. So I'm sure we probably won't sign him until the end of the offseason, but he'll probably be back just for depth. And he's very familiar with Baltimore. After that, we have linebacker Jake Hummel. I believe he is mostly special teams this year, so we might keep him on a cheap special teams deal. After that, backup quarterback Tyler Huntley. Please get this man signed. Re-sign him. He is a dog. He kept us in the playoff race against Green Bay. He beat the Bears the week after Lamar got injured with his hamstring. This guy's a dog. He knows our system. He can play. He doesn't make too many mistakes. Sign him to a backup quarterback deal, please. Let's not let him leave the door again. Thank you. All right. Moving on, we have Daniel Falele. Next, get his ass out. His ass should have been out, like, during the season, like, the middle of the season. He is ass. He is butt. He is ass with a side of butt. Get his shit and his fucking gear out of the locker room, please. He's so bad. Anywho, next, we have our... we have 2 tight ends besides Mark. We re-signed Mark Andrews, but both our other tight ends, Charlie Kohler and Isaiah Likely, are both unrestricted free agents. This is going to be a little rough. Biggest question of the offseason is, are we going to re-sign Isaiah Likely? Likely did have some questionable stuff this year. He did have the drop in the Steelers end zone, even though that should have been a touchdown, but you don't drop it. I think he also had another drop or something that led to interception that people disliked him for, but also week 18, he is the one that caught that 4th down pass from Lamar that kept us in the game towards the end. Likely's a dog. I still believe in Likely. That being said, will he price us out and go to another team? I could see that happening. I could see us losing Likely. I don't want to. I think he is very reliable because when Zay Flowers can't have his big games and Mark Andrews is nowhere to be found, usually Likely steps up. So I'd like them to keep Isaiah Likely. I don't know, though. It's very... it's a 50-50 coin toss for me if Likely's going to be back or not. And now, with that being said, I do believe we will resign Charlie Kohler. Because he's very solid. He's very good at blocking. He can catch the ball. People don't prep for him. And he scores touchdowns when you need him to. So I feel like we will keep Charlie. Isaiah up in the air. Who knows? Then we have our punter, Jordan Stout. He's very good. Very, very good. So with that said, there's a couple of people that I think we might lose, like likely. Yeah, I think we'll re-sign Lunderbaum. He'll be a major focus, but likely don't know. Next, I'm going to talk about so to save more cap room, I think we also need to besides Lamar, I think we need to reconstruct Marlon Humphrey's contract. We either need to cut him or reconstruct it. We can add like 10 million, I believe, if we cut him post June 1 or something. He is a veteran, but I feel like his age is showing. He does get burnt quite a bit from receivers running routes. He is an interception machine, but he's usually in the right place, right time situation instead of like forcing interceptions. So we'll see about that. And lastly, I want to talk about who I think we're going to draft in March. We have the 14th pick in the draft. Last time we had that, we got Kyle Hamilton. And you have seen how he has become a very good player for our team. Who do I think the Ravens will pick with their their first round pick in the draft at number 14? I think we're going to go with an edge rusher. Obviously, I feel like we're going to go either with David Bailey, the guy from Texas Tech. He is he's like 12th overall for prospects in the draft. We could also go for TJ Parker from Clemson. So I believe we're going to go edge rusher for our first round pick. And then after that, we'll probably go for an offensive tackle. I don't know who we're going to go for in free agency, to be honest with you. I would like Trey Hendrickson or Max Crosby. I've seen that we've been linked to DJ Moore for receivers. In my opinion, we definitely need another impact receiver besides Zay Flowers. We can't rely on Zay Flowers every game. Even though Zay Flowers is just dynamite, he's a bona fide number one receiver. I think we could possibly trade Rashad Bateman, but he did have a 9-touchdown season last year. I would personally give him one more year to see if he can get back to that. And if not, we need to let Bateman go because he's been injury prone earlier in his career and like he just doesn't produce. I don't know if him and Lamar just don't have the chemistry or what. But Lamar definitely looks towards Zay Flowers, Bateman, and Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews, and likely when he needs to throw to somebody. But with that said, that's all I have for the off-season lookout. Next, I do plan on doing a couple more videos. I'm going to do like my top 10 favorite Baltimore Ravens of all time players. And then I'm going to do a top 10 favorite Ravens games. Just because we're in our slow season now when it talks to football information. So I might have to stretch it out a little bit more. Might do some Ravens highlights, like some Lamar Jackson highlights, Ray Lewis highlights. And hopefully that'll get me to the NFL draft, and we'll talk about the draft and all that jazz. So with that said, please like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all later.